Hallo und herzlich willkommen hier aus der SWT-Arena zum nächsten Preseason-Interview. Wir haben uns in dieser Preseason vorgenommen, euch wirklich viel mitzunehmen und uns viel mit den Verantwortlichen auszutauschen, was ansteht, wo wir gerade stehen und was auf uns zukommen wird. Heute mit Don Beck. Herzlich willkommen. Thanks for your time. Don, to start into our interview, let's talk about the past season. It was your first season coming back to Trier. It turned out to be the most successful season in the history of Gladiators basketball. So could you sum up the season in a few words for us?
So Alex, thank you. Vielen Dank for that. I think we've talked about the story of last season, particularly my story returning here to Trier, where I coached many years ago, and I was reunited with my kids and my grandkids and a lot of my good and close friends. So that was a huge part of coming back for me. The thing I'm most proud of is basically what the team achieved. It was an amazing story because 90% of the people that worked with the team, coaching the team, playing on the team, with the front office staff, nobody knew each other. It was a complete new situation for myself, for Jacques, for Reggie, for Naho. So sometimes those things can just explode. And in the case of Trier, Trier basketball, Gladiator basketball, it was just the opposite. It was an extremely high point. So I'm very proud of what the team achieved, finishing first place and how they played throughout the year. Obviously, the loss against Frankfurt's devastating, but you can't overlook what we accomplished as a group last year, which I'm really, really proud of. I'm proud of what we built collectively. And in some of my talks earlier in the year to the fans, to the sponsors, I've always talked about collective work, how collective work, which is very, very Japanese, but is very much part of my coaching style and anything I've done professionally in business. It's been the result of collective effort. So an example of that is the work of Akam as the owner and Andre as the general manager. The front office staff, you guys, Alex, Flo, Julia, Maddie. We added Florian late in the year. We're very undermanned and overworked. And, that was just a really, really good group to work with and what we accomplished across the board. The coaching staff last year was fabulous. The addition of Jacques, the addition of Reggie, the medical side with Naho and Lucas. Unfortunately for Aki, he couldn't make the entire season. That was really, they all collectively did a great effort, and they were all part of our success. So overall, the success of the team was a success of our entire business organization. So that was a good thing. The second thing I'm the most proud of, is the culture that we created, It was the culture of last year's team was as good as any team I've ever coached. The camaraderie amongst the players was great. They competed extremely hard in practice on a daily basis, but as soon as that was over, they were best friends, and that was just so special. So the culture we created was the second thing I'm most proud of. Now, winning helps creating that culture. Had we lost a number of games, I don't know whether we would have gotten to the level that we got to. But at the end of the year, the culture we created, I think, carried us through many, many difficult situations. And I really do feel that our fans caught on to that vibe. I think our fans understood that what was going on in front of them was kind of special. And I think they related to what we were doing, and they wanted to be part of it. And I think that was one of the reasons why we were able to generate the fan interest that we generated in Trier last year. So it was something that I will always remember. And like I said, I just think it was one of the best seasons I've had as a coach. And I think it was some of the best seasons for some of the players as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So for the next season, there are some changes to come also for you. So early in the summer, we were able to announce that you are working now as the president of basketball operations here in Trier, a position we never had in the Gladiators club. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about your new position and your goals you want to achieve?
Well, probably the biggest mistake I've made since I came back to Trier was take the title of president, because I get it thrown at me all different kinds of ways. Hi, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President. So it's been a little bit of a joke with a lot of people. But what it is what we tried to do last year with our basketball team is our coaching staff was a modern coaching staff. It was maybe one of the most professionally run basketball teams in basketball in Germany, from the conditioning standpoint, from the practice standpoint, from the game execution standpoint. And you know, Jacques and I were very, very up to date on what's going on in modern basketball. The title of president of basketball operations is a title that's maybe half the NBA teams have that title. And what it is I work directly with Akam, okay, and I work with the front office staff, but I oversee anything that happens with our basketball product, especially the first team. So what we put on the floor, yes, Jacques is coaching the team, and we've got two good young assistants, and they're responsible for the success and failure. I'm kind of responsible for what goes on with that group, and that's my primary duty, is to make sure that the professional basketball team we put out there is the best team it could be, and will be a successful team and continue the growth that we started. And the growth that we started is difficult because, you know, we went up pretty high, and how do we get higher? So that's one thing. It's not something that's new to me. My last two years ago, coaching in Japan, 6 months ago in the season, I was named general manager and head coach of the Kumamoto Vaulters, and we basically had a great season. We ended up losing to get to the first league in the semifinals. So I've had this experience before. I've worked as an advisor to Mitsubishi, so this is not something new to me. And I think we're going to do some interesting and creative things, and I'm looking forward to that.
Without telling too much, could you maybe say what's your
we've already started. So early, you know, like 2 weeks ago, Jacques ran a clinic with his assistants for, you know, all the youth coaches in Trier. Okay, now it's vacation time, and a lot of them were not able to come, but we had 7 or 8 youth coaches here in our gym for 2 hours, you know, going through what we do as a team and what you know we're trying to teach. And if they want to use that information, if they want to use our template, our blueprint of what we're doing, you know, we're here for them, and we're going to help them. The addition of Ralph Held. Okay, Ralph is one of my closest friends and one of my most trusted assistants I've ever had. We worked together for many, many years, and he's come into our program. His primary goal is to get the youth program straightened out, try to unify all the youth coaches in Trier, and try to really help us develop a fundamental baseline program for youth in Trier for basketball, so that they can grow, and hopefully we can get some players into our program out of that youth program. So those are some of the things. We have another event that is coming up that we're putting together right now, where we have some international coaches coming for a brief conversation. But we have a bunch of things planned, and it's step by step, and you know, we'll see how it goes.
Long-term development.
Right.
Okay. So how hard will it be for you to not be on the sideline as the head coach next season?
It's funny because in some ways, as a younger coach, I used to love practices, and you know, I played the games. As I became an older coach, I didn't really enjoy the practices as much, and I wanted to play the games. But it's not easy to step back. It wasn't my first choice, but again, you know, my story and my vision is to get this team back to the BBL. All right, and I think in this role, I have a better chance of helping them get back to the BBL than I did if I would have stayed on as coaching. So when I gave the talk at the end of the season that people, like, we're not finished, I'm not finished, okay? I came back here for a reason. Again, it was my kids and my grandkids for sure, but I really truly believe that Trier is a BBL city, and not only a BBL city, but can become a great BBL city. And we've already shown that we can support a professional basketball team. We've shown we can support it's fourth league soccer, right? Is that correct? Okay. So the people are out there. They want to be part of the programs that that we're running, both the soccer guys and what we're running. And I know it's doable. It's a mountain of work, okay? And it requires great sponsorship. It requires great work from you guys on the front office staff, great work from our coaches and our players. But it's doable. And I know it's doable because I did it in Oldenburg. When I went to Oldenburg, they were in the first league for 2 years, and they finished 12th place and 13th place. And then after my first year, we were 5th, and they've never looked back. And we built a practice arena. We built a new arena before I left. So I was very, very proud of the impact I had on that program. And I've done it in 2 teams in Japan, in Toyama and in Kumamoto. So I know how to do these things, and I'm just looking forward to getting involved on the business side more, and trying to help develop that and bring that to a level where we both, the basketball side and the business side, are working together to build this up.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about basketball, our team for the next season. So the team is already here, started in the preparation for the season. Last season was your first season in the Pro A. How did you see the league's quality, and what do you expect from next year's teams?
Well, I think it's a high quality of basketball. I mean, it really. I was really impressed with the level of basketball from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. Even the teams that had poor records, like Paderborn and Bochum, these teams were highly, highly, highly competitive, and they were really, really difficult to beat. So I think it's going to be a lot of the same. As far as where our team is right now, we have 80% of our team is back. Mm. So I don't think we're going to make. Jacques is going to coach the way he wants to coach. He's going to make changes that he wants to make. But I think we're going to be basically the same kind of team. Very good offensively, very good rebounding-wise, very good defensively. I also think the other teams in our league, okay, the Karlsruhes and Jenas, these teams they have a budget, they want to go up. They're under pressure to go up. So it's going to be very, very competitive, and I'm looking forward to it. But it's the process of the growth, the process of the preseason, and we don't have enough data on that yet. We have 5 practices. Mm-hmm. We have a great preseason schedule. It's very, very challenging, unlike last year's preseason schedule. So it will be, it will be fun to watch, and I'll be there. I'm at every practice. I'll be at every game, and I'm sure we'll have great success. Injuries, barring any major injuries, we should be good to go.
Das waren schöne letzte Worte für das Interview hier mit Don. Wir melden uns bald zurück mit dem nächsten Interview aus der Preseason. Vielen Dank fürs Einschalten. Für unsere Jungs geht's jetzt in die Preseason, in die anstrengende Zeit vor der Saison. Und am Wochenende steht auch schon unser erstes Preseason-Spiel in Bonn an. Damit geht es dann los. Das heißt, dass auch ihr ganz bald wieder Gladiators Basketball sehen könnt. Wir halten euch natürlich auf dem Laufenden und freuen uns, wenn wir euch alle wiedersehen. Bis bald.